Annika, great to be with you again. We're here back in the Samsung Smart Home Suite, and if you recall last year we were sitting here. Samsung had become the market maker for foldables. You were doing a big promotion with the Flip around the selfie promotion. I think some student somewhere probably won £500,000, amazing experience, and it was raising the profile. But you've taken that approach now and you've just had the Olympics. And I think that everyone who was watching the Olympics will have seen that it was a big feature of that event. Can you tell us a bit about what impact that's had?
Of course I can. Ben, it's great to see you again. Samsung have been a partner with the Olympics for 40 years, incredibly proud of our partnership with the Olympics. And this year we wanted to take it to the next level. So we created a campaign called Open Always Wins, and this is that anybody can be involved in the Olympics. And with that, it was around how do we get as many people to see the flip phone and use it in a way that the world could celebrate. So we gave 17,000 athletes the flip phone, and hopefully you saw, we called it the victory selfie, which is where the first, second and third all stood together and took that selfie. That went completely viral around the world because it was about celebrating that one moment. Couple that with the fact that on July 29th, it was the day after, which was 29th was the day that we won the most medals. The day after, we saw the biggest uplift in sales. So what you saw was it raised huge awareness, it was a celebrationary moment, but also helped with sales.
So there was a direct correlation between what happened with the UK team and what you saw happening in the UK, which is just amazing. I mean, it did seem to, even my mum said, God, did you see those phones on the Olympics? It was, and it was really great because Samsung's made such a big investment in the Olympics, and it always kind of felt a little bit difficult to see how you got the return, but that tangible use of the phone clearly delivered a lot. So
I think it's having fun with the phone, but also showing the fact you didn't need to open the screen to take a selfie. And actually sometimes it's hard, and we talked about selfie. Getting the phone into people's hands, understanding how it works is the challenge. And because we had everybody taking selfies with the front screen closed, it did the job for us.
So that's the hardware story, and obviously Samsung's excelled there. You've got different form factors. You've been working really hard to build out that portfolio of products. But this year, it's all about the software and the experiences. For our predictions event, for example, we're talking an awful lot about AI, and Samsung's doubling down there, partnering with Google, doing some of your own work. Can you tell us a bit about Galaxy AI? Because that's a huge feature of what you're doing this year.
We teased it last year. I remember being sat on the stage and saying, something's coming, AI is coming. And we're so proud to be the first hardware partner to be able to go to market with Galaxy AI. We launched it in January, and it's all about basically saying Galaxy AI is here. Now, AI means lots of things to lots of people. So we had to make it simple. Like, how do you take something that's this Goliath and make it make sense to everyday person? So from January, we launched with Galaxy AI on our S series. We then, through March, April, May, we took all of our backward compatible devices to N-2, so 2 devices back from what we've got, because we wanted everybody to have the experience. And we gave them the opportunity to have Galaxy AI. We've now gone into foldables, and you're going to see with S24 FE, again, an accessible phone with Galaxy AI. So we've been in this space for a long time. 200 million people will have phones with Galaxy AI by the end of this year. So it's been a really proud place for us to be. But as I mentioned, it's about democratizing AI. How do you make it simple? And for us, it's about your personal assistant in your pocket. So we focused firstly on Circle to Search with Google, which was all around how do you circle something and then find it quickly? How do you use imaging to do that? And that's been incredibly successful with, I think, 29% of people using that feature. On top of that, we've got 8.8 million people across Europe that are using AI, and they say that it's actually making them stay with us because they just love the features. And once you start to build it into your life, it makes sense. The summer's just been, well, it's at the end of the summer, and we've seen Live Translate. It's only when you need Live Translate, when you're stood there going, I don't know how to book a restaurant, or I don't know how to use this for business, you see that come alive. And again, simple ways of talking to people and breaking down barriers. And then obviously Photo Assist and Photo Edit, incredibly important features. But all of those have got to make sense to the consumer and keep it simple. So it's
resonating, you're finding, because I think it is a very complex thing to articulate to a consumer, but it sounds as though you're finding you're cutting through with certain use cases. Is that?
I think, yes, because what we had to do was, Galaxy AI was a big launch, and hopefully you saw the Circle to Search line. We changed.
To have it.
Yeah, and it was about how do we make this feel simple and everyday and interesting, because AI isn't interesting to everyone. It's what it does for you that's interesting. So, it's first of all, let's launch with something to explain this and make sure that we've got promoters, we've got people there that are taking you on the journey. Then we use mainstream media through the summer. So we used ITV as a partnership to explain, okay, through some of our work with ITV over the years, how to explain some of these features. And it's not just on phones, remember, that's on tablets, it's on lots of our different devices, well, all of our devices, in fact, right the way through to our Buds Pro that we've just brought out. Everything has an AI area to it. But we just wanted to keep it simple and make sure that people are using it and then take them on the journey with us.
So talking of accessories, of course, there's this really big push by Samsung. You've had a brand new Watch Ultra. You've got the Galaxy Ring, which I see you're wearing. Right. And for me personally, the intersection of technology and health is exciting. It's something I'm passionate about. I know you are. Share a few thoughts on that. I'd love to get your take on it.
So I think this is a really exciting space because actually it's about, we've talked about in the past, the fact that you can look at your health, you can understand your health, you can understand your steps, your sleep. You bring that together and bring AI into that space. You've now got a full 360 personalised view of your health. So when we look at Watch, watch the fact that you can go up a mountain to 9,000 metres and you can go to 10 ATM under the ocean and you can sit in excessive heats, which means that it's a really, the Watch Ultra is a proper sports person's watch. But you also have the other side of it, which is about discreet health. And discreet health is me, right? It's the person that doesn't necessarily want to wear a watch all day. They want to have something that they can wear, they can understand what's going on in their lives, and they have that data that's all sat within their smartphone. But it also helps them to be able to wear the outfit they want to wear, or they want to not necessarily have a large watch on their wrist. And that gives you incredible data. So, I wear it all the time. It tells me how I'm sleeping, how my cycle is, all of the things that kind of are not necessarily spoken about because it's looking at my data against my data. And it's telling me what patterns I've got, what days I need to maybe not have a glass of wine, or what days I need to go to sleep early, or, cut a fitness class out. All of those things are wrapped together. And if you put a watch with a ring, then you have everything. You can literally look at your entire health in one space. So I'm really excited about it.
So a bit of gamification of health for you? Are you competing against yourself?
I am slightly. I can't help myself. You can't help but look at it and go, okay, I thought I had a good night's sleep, but actually, and I tell you what it does do to me. It tells me when I should go to bed because I'm very bad at that, and I'll sit there and go, just one more episode of this or just do this. It tells you when to go to bed to optimise your health so that you feel better. It tells you when to not have caffeine, for example. Things that are probably quite obvious, but they're not obvious until you see the effect on your heart rate or you see the effect on your sleep.
Yeah, and sleep's so underrated. I mean, all the books I read about health, it's as important as exercise, so it's great that you're seeing it. I mean, the other thing you mentioned was cycles, and I think one of the great things I've seen specifically with smart rings is it seems to be resonating extremely well with women, but also I'm encouraged that the industry is doubling down on women's health. So whether it's cycle tracking, core body temperature, things like menopause, it's being surfaced, and I think that's great news for the industry.
I think I could not agree more. I think the fact that you're in a position now that you can understand all of your health and all of the metrics that sit within how you live your life and they're put in one space, you don't just get a snapshot of one thing, you're looking at it all together, and I think that can only get stronger and more exciting and more interesting.
And with quite a discreet little piece of hardware.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, do you know, it feels odd when I don't have it on.
Great. Well, it's clearly working for you, and that's fantastic. But as we get towards the end of the interview, as is customary with our predictions events and the people we invite to come, we'd love to know if you've got any predictions that you want to put on the table in terms of how you see the next 12 months and beyond.
So I've talked about the fact that where we are with AI and health right now, I think the next iteration of wearable AI health will be incredible. I think when you start to get to a point where it starts to tell you, sort of pre-tells you some of the things that are happening in your body that can help you maybe catch problems early, I think that's incredible. I think that AI personalising your health to the level it's going to will be a game changer, and we know people want it. We know consumers are crying out to understand more about their bodies and how they work and how they can live a better life and live for longer. And so if Samsung can help that journey, I'm excited about that.
So watch this space for technology, health, AI, all mashed up, making you a better, healthier person.
Hopefully.
Sounds great. Well, Annika, thank you so much for joining us again this year. It's been great to catch up, and really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Nice to see you again.